Angie has made it easier than ever to hire high-quality pros to get all your home service jobs done well. Just bring them your project online or with the Angie app, answer a few questions, and Angie will connect you with local pros who match your specific needs. Or book a service instantly at an upfront price. So join the millions of homeowners who use Angie to care for their homes and get your next home service job done well. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. From the launch your online shop stage, all the way to the we just hit 1 million orders stage. No matter what stage you're in, Shopify's there to help you grow. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/special offer, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/special offer.
What is it you do that, are you a comedian?
Yeah, comedian and a writer and a voice actor.
What have you done that, have you done anything that I might recognize?
Yeah, I was a writer on Everybody Loves Raymond.
I love that show.
Oh, thank you.
Are you really a writer on Everybody Loves Raymond? Mm-hmm. I didn't miss an episode. Neither did my mother.
This is the plaintiff, Dave Shelton. He says he started working on the defendant's radio show and worked there for 2 years and eventually quit because he was tired of being abused and embarrassed on the air. To this day, he hasn't received payment from the radio station. The defendant promised him he would get paid, and since he hasn't, he's suing for $10,000, the amount owed. This is the defendant, Gary Garver. He says the plaintiff was nothing more than a recurring guest who came on the show to promote whatever it was he was working on at the time. Never once did the plaintiff ask to be paid for his appearances. He's sorry, but the plaintiff's grasping at straws because neither he nor the radio station owes this guy a cent. He's accused of ripping off a radio star.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Welcome. Dave Shelton, yes. You are suing Gary Garver for $10,000 in wages that you say are owed to you over the course of 2 years that you worked and did not get paid. Talk to me. What happened?
Your Honor. Yes, originally I met Gary at a previous radio show that he had asked me to be on, and then he had a TV version of it. And then when he went and started this other radio show, he asked me to come on and be regular and a co-host on it, and with the promise that I'd be getting paid.
All right, and how is it that when he approaches you and says, hey, you want to be on, how does it work?
He says, I'm doing the show, I want you to come on and co-host. And, you know, I brought a lot of celebrities on the show that were my friends, a lot of guests. We did appearances.
What is it you do that, are you a comedian?
Yeah, comedian and a writer and a voice actor.
What have you done that, have you done anything that I might recognize?
Yeah, I was a writer on Everybody Loves Raymond.
I love that show.
Oh, thank you.
Are you really a writer on Everybody Loves Raymond? Mm-hmm. I didn't miss an episode. Neither did my mother. All right, Mr. Garver, tell me about you. What have you done? Is it the same idea that you were a comedian? Usually they give the shows to people who are
more of a talk show host. I've been in the radio business for 30 years.
Okay.
Worked on the Howard Stern show for about 17 of those years.
What did you do for the Howard Stern show?
I was his first West Coast producer back in 1991 when he decided to syndicate his show there. And then I became a celebrity reporter for him in Hollywood, did interviews for him from 97 to about 2007.
Okay.
Also had a talk show there.
All right. So you know, normally, Mr. Shelton, the rest of us, if we go to work and they don't pay us, we stop working. So you kind of have, you know, some heavy lifting to do to persuade me why it is that over the course of 2 years, you would continue to show up to a job you're supposed to be paid at. Because, of course, according to you, is he supposed to be paid?
No, Your Honor.
Right. So that's where your heavy lifting comes in. So persuade me. Tell me how it is and why it is that you should be paid for showing up.
Well,
and being by the way, co-host, how often did you show up?
Originally, it was maybe 3 days a week, and then as it started to progress, I said, you know what, this is like getting ridiculous. I'm waking up at like 6 in the morning to go to do a morning show. I'm driving. We did remotes. I'm driving to the remotes. I'm putting up with his language, and he's got a very bad temper, and he was very mean to a lot of my guests and things like that. So I kept on the show because of the promise of doing it, and then he was going to bring that radio show.
You clearly did not have other work to do, or you would not have continued to show up for free to a radio show waking up at 6 in the morning.
Right. No, I mean, I had other, work that I was doing as well.
Okay. Did the topic of money ever come up again?
Yes, it did.
How often did the topic of money come up? What's frequently?
Probably once a week, twice a week. I would
tell. And then you just keep showing up. Once a week, twice a week,
well,
say,
he kept promising me
that... You're going to pay me? Yeah, I promise I'm going to pay you. And then you show up again, and you show up again. But and that's kind of the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
If you understand, Your Honor, that in entertainment, a lot of it is built on that. And
I understand that in entertainment, a lot of it is built on free work, which is people showing up in order to promote themselves, and they don't expect to get paid.
Right, but in this case, it wasn't.
Which is what he says this was, and kind of what it looks like. So that's why I need you to persuade me that, in fact, you were supposed to get paid. According to you, you're having this conversation every week.
Yes, going
a couple times a week.
And there was also the promise that he was going to bring the show to television, and I was going to be part of that as well.
That I get.
It was also established that as the co-host, I was continually mentioned. And
okay, but you're not there every day. So who's the co-host on the other 3 days a week at this point?
His name is Jigga Jones.
Okay, and did that guy get paid?
I believe he did. Yes.
Did he get paid?
He did not get paid, Your Honor.
Okay, why do you believe he did?
Not from my understanding. He told me that he got paid for being on the show.
Okay.
What happened, Your Honor, is that I have the contracts here, and there is no payment from the radio station. We never got paid to be on there. This is a brokered radio station where people pay to be on the air, pay for the hour time. So with Mr. Daly, a.k.a. Jigga Jones, we would try to sell advertising revenue. And
when Jigga Jones got paid, is it because he brought in advertising?
No.
Did he get paid?
He did not get paid.
Ever?
He never got paid.
Oh, so where do you get your evidence from? The grapevine, or do you have any evidence that Jigga Jones got paid?
He told me that he got paid. And then also,
do you have him here as a witness to testify?
No, unfortunately, but I do have a text from him saying that, because it was more my concern about my situation, not his. So when he told me that he had witnessed also that, he sent me a text saying that he was going to be sending email that, and then it shows here.
I'm sorry, you haven't said anything, but you've said a lot of words. What?
Right. I'm saying he was going to
He sent your text saying what?
That I was supposed to get paid, that he overheard Gary.
Okay, let me see that text. I mean, that's kind of rank hearsay, but let me see it. Are you in a problem with Jigga Jones now?
No, I don't have. I love Jigga.
Okay.
But I do have a.
Why would he send this, or is this a fake?
The bottom line is here's a declaration.
No, I'll get to the bottom line.
I have no idea about the text or email. I never saw it.
Got the email. Did you get?
I never
Check your email. You should. Can you email me? What is this? This doesn't say any of the stuff you just said it would say. What do you want me to do here?
No, that just shows that he's agreeing with me and that he was going to send the email, but I hadn't gotten the email in time for court.
You can't possibly be asking me to consider this evidence, right? Can you email me later? Check your email; it'll be there. Okay, that's good. All right, next. What's going on? What do you think is going on here? Let me just ask.
Sure.
Was there eventually a problem between you two that led to this?
I think Dave just, I like Dave. There's nothing wrong with Dave. Dave's a nice guy,
Usually when litigants say that in the tone that you just said, it's incredibly condescending.
Well,
go ahead.
Okay, well, sort of.
Which is how Dave just felt when you said it. But in any event, talk about it.
That's his normal behavior.
It probably is now since he's done what he's done. I mean, taking me to court and doing all this. And just, But the bottom line is I think Dave is just upset because he's not on the show anymore.
Just a moment.
Can I speak, please? What led to it really, the downfall of our friendship was he had guests on, and he did have celebrity guests on come in and promote their stuff. But, I mean, they ended up swearing on my show time and time again. And it got to the point where, if you know, and I'm sure you do, FCC regulations, I'm not on a podcast or on the internet. This is AM, FM radio. I can get not only fined, but thrown off the air.
So did you stop quote, booking his guests?
Yes, I basically just, I cut it down tremendously.
Did you ever like yell at one of his guests for swearing on the air?
Yeah, I gave you tape. Yeah, of course. I mean, I was like, hey, man, what are you doing? You're going to get me thrown off the air.
I know how many hours do you have to fill?
I do an hour a day.
An hour a day. That's not that much to fill. But yeah, it went on for a bit of time. But so what? So why does that make an employment contract? In other words, if he's rude, then he's rude. Frankly, I guess that's what. So you're talking to somebody who's a big radio comedy fan. I have Sirius XM on all the time. It's Raw Dog when the kids aren't in the car. It's Comedy Central and the Comedy Channel when they're not. And with all due respect, as soon as the talk comes on, I turn it off, because the talk is always some sexist, misogynistic, yada yada, women stink, men that...
You pretty much described his personality.
I know, let's listen to it. But you know what? If it sells, it sells. I don't care. Well, I'm a capitalist above everything else. And I have this vision every time that happens that the only other people listening are truckers, male truckers. Right. Hold on. But hey, whatever.
Probably, yeah. I mean,
hold on. No. Wait, let me see something, because there's only one I want to air. I love it.
Because most people, a lot of guys are married to women, as always. I mean, it's still in vogue.
I'm working on it.
And I came across a story, and it's bizarre because it was earlier today, and I was talking to Jig off the air about it. It's like, 4 things men hide from their wives, right?
Yeah.
So me and Jig are going through the 4 things that we would hide from our wives or girlfriends or whatever.
Money, right?
Well, money was one of them, yeah.
Our
credit cards, gambling, you know what I mean? Hide that from your wife or girlfriend. Drinking, you know what I mean? If you're an alcoholic like Jig and I, you try to hide that from her. Extra money you have in your pocket, I mean, you want to keep a few bucks for yourself, and
I wish I could do that.
Well, I know. One day you'll make some money, Dave. Definitely you're gonna hide an affair from your wife or girlfriend, right?
Hey, like Bill Clinton did.
Yeah, exactly. And also, like, if you you want to go on a guy trip, you know what I mean, and you don't want to take the wife or the girlfriend, you may say, hey, honey, I have a business meeting somewhere, and then head to Vegas. Which my friend did about 10 years ago and got caught because he blew about $8,000 on his credit card.
See, Tammy would want to come along with me on that trip.
Well, no, I'm just saying you'd have to, Dave. Do you get the premise of it?
Well, yeah, absolutely. But I know,
dumbass. You got to lie. I know he's so stupid sometimes. You know what I mean? These are things you try to hide from her. Right. Of course. I want to. No, you can't go, honey. I got to go. This is just gonna be a real quick turnaround. Blah blah blah.
She would find out though.
Okay. That's as much as I can tolerate. But okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. Same here.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So does it make sense that this plaintiff says that he hasn't been paid for 2 years?
It doesn't make sense, because he should have reported it in like 4 weeks if he hasn't get paid.
Yeah, you don't get paid. You say, hey, where's my money, right?
Yeah.
There you go. What do you say?
I think he definitely needs the money for sure. Pay up front.
What, should he get any money?
Yeah, I think he should get money.
He didn't complain for 2 years. The guy.
I think he should get paid.
I would have left with the.
Interns work for free all the time.
Huh?
Interns work for free all the time.
Interns do work for free all the time.
They know what they're getting into.
Okay. Going inside the courtroom.
God made colors for all the different tastes in the world.
Right.
Okay. Obviously, if he's on the air of the song, it's because there's somebody listening who kind of digs that. So, what difference does it make? Of course, if your boyfriend is an alcoholic, gambling, cheater, thief, you probably ought to know. He shouldn't be able to successfully keep that from you.
Right.
But that's not what we're here about.
Right. No, that's not the gist of the whole thing.
We're persuading me that this is a contract for employment. I see that after that he was rude to you. I mean, it goes on from there, and I know that.
No, I realize it's a comedy show.
I want you to show me one single proof of a promise, because you weren't even able to do it through the text that you said you were going to be able to do it through an email that you said you were. I want you to show me support for your version of the facts.
Oh, unfortunately, except for the oral agreement that we had and the promise of money.
And according to you, you never had that oral agreement.
If he would have asked me one time to pay him, he would have never been on the show again. Bottom line.
And I wish, because I did.
Bottom line.
Jig did say he was going to send that, and unfortunately, I don't have it. I don't want what he did to get him to not send that or whatever, but I wouldn't be here if I wasn't supposed to be, if I wasn't promised to get paid.
Why not? There's no downside for you in filing this. Yes, sir.
That wasn't my original thinking.
Give you a document about him. He's also taken KCAA 1050 AM 106.5 FM to the labor board and suing us.
That's the
radio station, Broadcast Management Services. We just got this.
What happened with that?
It was a hearing today.
Today, so somebody's over there and you're over here?
Exactly. That's how vindictive this guy is.
It's not a
vindictive or tenacious, I don't know.
No, it's
but,
vindictive.
Either way, this one's clear, and I rule in favor of the defendant. I'm curious to see what happens with the labor board, although I'm pretty sure I can predict.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck, folks.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Good luck to everybody on their careers.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
All right, let's have it.
I am so pissed right now. It's like he's going like vindictive. If you knew the kind of person he was, then you know that vindictive is probably, his middle name.
Well, insults on the radio, rudeness, and all that raunch, that's just, bad radio. We hear that all over the place.
It is bad radio. And
you're part of it.
Not anymore. It's like I left the show because of all that.
Okay, right around this way. Okay.
Thanks.
All right, step on out here. Okay, you win your case. Satisfied how this comes out?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. There was no base for it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Zero.
How tough is it to do radio when you have to pay for your airtime?
It's cool. It's just the way it is nowadays. You have to do what you got to do to get ahead. So I dig it. I enjoy it. I'm just glad this big, black, bald cloud is lifted from me.
Okay. Harvey? I got to say, Kurt, tough luck that this guy's sensibilities were offended. I mean, he had every right at any point to say, I'm not doing this, I'm just leaving the show. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Angie has made it easier than ever to hire high-quality pros to get all your home service jobs done well. Whether it's routine maintenance, an emergency repair, or a dream project, Angie lets you compare quotes from multiple local pros, browse homeowner reviews, and even book a service instantly. Angie's been connecting people with skilled pros for nearly 30 years. So the next time you have a home project, bring it to Angie to get your job done well. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
This is the plaintiff, Robert Hawk. He says he's a jack of all trades and was hired by the defendant to do some repairs on her house, and the woman refuses to pay him for all his hard work. The plaintiff only paid him a fraction of what she owes him, and he's still kind of stunned because he worked for 58 hours at $30 an hour and is now owed $2,160, just what he's suing for today. This is the defendant, Devon Edwards. She says she asked the plaintiff what he charged, and he responded by saying, whatever you want to pay me is fine. When she asked why he wouldn't give her a price, he told her he just likes helping people. Bottom line, he did a pretty terrible job on most of the work he did. She paid him what she thought it was worth. She's guessing he wasn't happy with that, and here they are. She's accused of being an underpayer. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $1,460 for storing the plaintiff's rototiller for 6 months.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff did repairs for the defendant and got stiffed, but the defendant says he told her to pay what it was worth. It's the case of you're worth less.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Robert Huck, you are suing Devon Edwards for $2,860 in unpaid labor, and you have a counterclaim against him for $1,460 for storage. Okay, let me hear from you first.
Well, I met Devon through a mutual acquaintance who brought me to her house, and she let me know that she needed some work done. And I said, I can do things.
Handyman.
Pardon? Yeah, I'm a handyman. I do all kinds of stuff, yeah. I'm a chef by trade.
Okay.
But anyway, I didn't get any kind of contract with her. Don't yell at me. I know you're going to.
If you think that saying "don't yell
I know
at
that's
me"
not good.
is going to stop the tirade that's going to happen in a minute, go ahead.
All right.
It's not that you didn't get a contract. That's bad enough.
Right.
You didn't even get an agreement on what you would be paid.
Right.
That's infinitely worse.
I told her.
It's not just that you didn't get a written contract. You didn't get a verbal contract.
No, I got a verbal contract.
Really?
But,
what was the agreement on what you would be paid for each of the...
Well, it wasn't on each job. It was more of how many hours it was going to take me.
Did you have a verbal agreement with her on how much you would be paid an hour?
Well, I said I usually make $30 to $35 an hour.
So she agreed to pay you 30 to 35?
I'm assuming. I know that's what I said.
What are you assuming? Did you have any agreement with her beforehand about what you would get paid? Or did you say, according to you, he said what?
When I asked him how much he would charge for the things that I needed done, he stated, whatever you give me. And I said to him, why would you do that? And he said, because I like helping people.
And then you sure showed him, huh? How much did you pay him for his labor? What did you do for her?
Oh, Lord. It was 73 hours of work.
Tell me what you did.
Retaining wall, 98 feet long.
A 98 foot, you built a 98 feet long retaining wall? Okay.
Yeah. Well, that was the last part, because at first she has a long hill coming down, a steep hill. The water was coming from
the
her roof and the thing, and it eroded like a big trench coming down.
It eroded the soil?
Yeah.
So she asked you to do what?
I'll fix it.
By doing what? What did you do?
I framed it out with wood, put plastic around it so the water couldn't get outside there, and I filled it with trap rock. So all the water coming through would have to run through this and go down to the end of the hill, and you don't worry about it.
Okay, so how much did she end up paying you for your, what was it the phrase was, anything you feel like paying me, anything you think is right. And what did she think was right for all of your work?
I didn't get a dime.
I thought you said she paid you $300.
That wasn't even for me. That was for the supplies. That was my out-of-pocket money. So I didn't get anything from me.
So
I had two workers.
When you said to her, pay me what you think is right.
I never said that.
Well, prove what you did say.
Oh. Well, that's just it. I can't prove anything. I have no contract here. I don't work for nothing. I'm a hard worker, but I don't do it for free.
Of course, but you're asking $35 an hour, which is a high rate.
Well, I did 30.
Or 30. Like, you have to prove to me she agreed to 30.
Oh.
Can you do that?
Well, no, because
I think it was
there's
a lot
nothing in writing.
loosey-goosey. Right. Never mind about writing. I think it's much more loosey-goosey than you're saying. I don't know that you had...
It is.
First of all, you worked for how long before finally you got tired of working without getting a pay?
I'll tell you why this was. During... probably like halfway through everything.
Which was what? How many weeks were you working without seeing a dime?
It was going almost 3 months.
So this is sporadically throughout 3 months, and you don't see one dime, and it never occurs to you to stop because she's not paying you.
Now, as I was saying, halfway through, she mentioned to me that she can start paying me by the week if I want the money then. I said, well, I'd rather get it at the end because, okay, you're right, this was my idea. The reason being, I said, like a contractor does, they usually take half of it at the beginning, and then they get their second half when they're done with a job.
Yeah, and so did you get your first half?
What?
Did you get your first half at the beginning?
No, I didn't.
You got nothing. You just worked for 3 months. Why would, first of all, did you pay him $300?
I paid him over $1,300.
Yeah, but are you including in that the amount that you paid for the rocks?
No.
Okay, I need to see proof that you paid him what you're saying.
I don't have any proof because he said to me, whatever you give me, weekly, as he would bring receipts for the rocks and all the other stuff he picked up, I would pay him in a
Right, but that's merchandise that you got. That doesn't go in his pocket. What did you pay him for his labor?
I also gave him money for his labor. And for the
How much money did you give him for his labor?
I gave him over $1,300.
You're going to have to prove that. You're going to have to, he's outraged right now. You're going to have to prove that.
At one time, I gave him $300 cash.
Yeah.
Plus the date.
That's what he says you gave him, but he had to give that to the people who were working with him that day. But tell me when you gave him $1,300.
I used to give it to him periodically when I would find him in the yard.
Okay, you understand you can't come to court and just say, I paid $2,000, but I can't prove it. You know that that's not going to go anywhere, right? You do watch people's court?
Yes,
I mean, you've seen how this goes down.
What?
You know, when you pay somebody $1,300, you should get a receipt. That way you can prove that you pay them $1,300, especially in a loosey-goosey thing like this, where it's like, whatever you want. Like, this is crazy. Guy's working there 3 months.
The lady.
He built a retaining wall. Do you know how much that cost?
He built two. It was 2 levels. I have pictures of it. It was two rocks with a cap on it. That's what he built.
Why don't you do it yourself if it's so easy?
I didn't say it was easy.
Okay.
But he agreed to do this.
For free?
He said, whatever you give me.
And so what you chose to give him was $300 or zero?
No, I paid him as he went along. Otherwise, why would he continue working for 6 months with no pay?
Oh, because this is the kind of guy who says, pay me at the end and whatever you think is right, according to you. The kind of person who says, whatever you think is fair is the kind of person who would keep working for 3 months.
So, plaintiff does the work. It's an oral agreement. It says, well, I'll pay you, but there's no specific price. He did the work. Does he get any money?
He should be paid, but there should have been something.
What do you pay him?
That should have been negotiated.
Well, they didn't negotiate it. What do you pay him?
It should have been in writing.
Didn't do it in writing. What do you pay him?
I have no idea.
That's the thing. What do you pay him?
You just hope that he kept the receipts so he could.
So all you're going to do is give him the cost of what he actually spent?
Well, an oral deal, nothing's on paper. You kind of screw yourself on that.
But do you give him any money for what he did? I mean, to give him some profit out of it?
I would say no, because that should have been settled before.
But then the person who gets the work done gets this huge windfall.
It's the person who did the job without getting paid. It's their fault.
It's their fault, the person who does the work. Okay, going inside the courtroom.
Should you have pictures of the stuff you do? What's your counterclaim about? Storage? What is that about? What are you storing for him?
He left a rototiller in my yard from the time he worked there. All of August, all of September.
What does this look like, this item?
It's a rototiller machine that you use to garden with, that he used to do the dirt, to get the dirt up when he built the retaining wall. He picked it up on December.
How big is that thing?
It's like a lawnmower, a little higher, about the size of a lawnmower.
And why did you leave that there?
I was going to use it again for her backyard.
Okay, but when things went sour, why didn't you take it?
Oh, I took it.
Oh, you did? As soon as things went sour, you took it?
She gave me
this. Okay, so wait.
Okay.
So when you say he left it there during the time that he was doing work for you?
He was still in and out of the yard, but he was done with the rototiller, because the rototiller was just when he was doing
So
the retainer.
You are actually coming to court and filing a claim against him for he should pay you $1,500 for keeping the tools he was using to fix your yard in your yard while he was doing your yard, because according to you, that specific part was done. That is what you are doing here today. You never once told him while the guy's working there, hey, get this thing out of here. It's taking up too much room. The minute things went sour, he took it. It's not like he left it there when things went sour. But you think I ought to order him to pay you $1,500, right? You who got all that labor that we've talked about for all those months without paying anything that you can prove. You should get $1,500. What planet are you living on? Because what you have, I want to bottle and sell.
Your Honor, I have pictures.
This is not a small retaining wall. I don't know what you're... This is a retaining wall. This isn't just putting up a couple of bricks.
It's 98 feet.
Jeez. Ma'am, did you ever price out any of the things that you had done to find out what somebody would have charged you to do them?
Your Honor.
Yes or no?
No, I did not.
Okay. And then, comma, what did you want to say?
He completed the wall, and everything else I've had to have redone.
You know what? Then let's just talk about the wall, okay? Do you have any idea what someone would charge you for the retaining wall?
No, I don't.
Well, you should. That way you'd know whether you're acting appropriately or not. You should. Okay? I'm ordering you to pay the... by the same token, this idea of getting $30 an hour is not going to fly either. When you two don't specify what the meeting of the minds is on how much this is going to cost, what you do is you leave it up to a judge to decide what the fair market value of labor is for this kind of a job. That's what you do by operation of law. So I now have to kind of guesstimate what I think it's worth that he didn't get paid, that I feel he should get paid, because you can't prove that you paid him, okay? And I don't think you paid him. I think that you might have handed out as much money as you're talking about, and that included the materials that were coming to your house. That doesn't go in the man's pocket. The guy's got to eat, okay?
Yeah.
Wow. Stop talking.
Hold on, ma'am.
Okay, so after reviewing what I have heard and coming to that conclusion of what I think is a fair sum, I am ordering you to pay the defendant, I am ordering the defendant to pay the plaintiff the sum of $1,500. And on your counterclaim against him for having the nerve to leave a tool there that you were still using while you're working on the property, okay, even if you were done a week earlier and still left it there, zero. Okay?
Your Honor, my phone?
Yeah.
I'm thinking. Oh, okay.
You stopped me for that?
Well, Judge Milian puts a value on the work the plaintiff did at $1,500, and that's the judgment against you. What's your reaction to this?
I just regret that she didn't let me explain my side of the case because he lied. He was paid.
Yeah. Well, you didn't have any proof of that, right?
He don't have any proof that I didn't pay him.
Okay, do you think that's good enough to leave on?
Well, he didn't have any proof. Why would he keep coming back for 6 months if he didn't get paid? Nobody would come back and work for 6 months if they didn't get paid.
All right, step on in here. She says you got paid. And she keeps insisting on that.
Well, that's a total lie. I wish I said something in there. But I'm just happy that what she said to her, to let her understand you can't just do this to people. It's just not right. Go to church and learn something.
Okay.
All right, thanks a lot. Thank you.
Harvey?
Oh, I'm going to throw a legal term at you. This is called quantum merit in the law. It means that you're entitled, if you don't have a binding contract, but there was clearly some expectation you'd get paid, it's the reasonable value of the services rendered, and that's up to the judge. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Wasim Bey. He says the defendant is one of those money-hungry landlord types you hear about. But today's Judgment Day, because she doesn't know who she's trying to rip off. He's here to fight for what's right, to stand up for his rights, and to sue the unscrupulous defendant for every penny of the $2,952.75 he's owed. This is the defendant, Deirdre. She says the plaintiff refused a rent increase, which was directly due to her increased costs, and she was forced to evict him. The unclean, to say the least, plaintiff destroyed her hard-earned wood floors and is now seeking the return of a security deposit he didn't even pay for in the first place. Laughable. She's accused of being unfair. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $383.21 for unpaid rent plus damages.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff says the defendant gives landlords a bad name. She stole his security. But the defendant says it's sour grapes because she evicted him. It's the case of you can't lord over me anymore.
Thank you, Douglas. Wasim Bey?
Yes.
You are suing Deirdre. You've asked to be referred to only by your first name for $2,952.75 in security deposit that you want returned to you, plus punitive damages. You are counterclaiming against him $383.21 in additional damages beyond the security deposit that the security deposit didn't cover, according to you. Let me hear from you first, Mr. Bey. What happened?
Yes, I moved into an apartment 8 years ago. And I paid $952.75 security deposit. Since then, the rent gradually increased. By the time I moved out, it was $1,279.
Did she ever ask for more security deposit from you to cover that rent?
Well, it was a Section 8 apartment, so they always notified me how much I need to pay on my end.
You were never notified to pay additional security?
Yeah.
Who paid the security deposit?
I paid the security deposit.
Okay, go on.
In July, I believe in July 2015, she told me that she wanted to raise the rent past what Section 8 currently paid for the one-bedroom apartment I was currently renting. I said, I have to either volunteer to move out by filing for a transfer and find an apartment to move, or she has to evict me.
Now, why are you getting Section 8?
I'm legally disabled.
Okay.
I have chronic back pain.
Okay. And how long has Section 8 been paying your rent?
The entire time I've been at the apartment.
8 years?
Yeah.
All right, so she tells you, listen, I guess what you really were saying is find another place because you didn't want him as a, and why didn't you want him as a tenant anymore? Because 8 years is a long time.
Well, it wasn't all about the rent increase. It was more because he was just not a good tenant.
How so?
He was not clean, and not only that, but he also I had found out that he was subleasing the apartment to a college student. So at that point,
wait. So the government's paying for his apartment, and then he was subletting it to a college student. How did you find that out?
Because when I was ready to evict him, my husband went to serve the papers, and the girl answered the door. And so when my husband handed her the papers, she said, well, who are you? He said, who am I? I'm the landlord. He said, no, Wasim's the landlord. She's like, no. She said, no, I signed a lease. I have a lease with him. She was paying him $350 a month.
Were you subletting the place?
No, I have no idea what she's talking about.
Who was the girl saying that she's paying you $350 a month? Do you have any idea?
I had a friend I was trying to help out. And
Were
I
you
got bit for.
receiving money in return for helping her out?
No, not at all. She'll help out as far as cleaning her mess.
Did you have a lease with her?
No.
Did the girl give you a copy of the lease?
I have pictures, and she sent me stuff from her cell phone.
Did she give you a copy of the lease, yes or no?
She showed it to me on the. She didn't give it to me, but she showed it to me. She sent it to me on the phone.
Yeah, that's good.
And
she took a picture of it and sent it to you?
Let's see. I wonder if I have it here.
That would be awesome, because I bet you
but
Section 8 would like to hear about that.
Yes, I actually did contact them too, and they were going to look into it.
Did you send it to them?
I sent them everything that she sent me.
Look, if she's a liar, then she needs to be exposed as a liar. But if she's telling the truth, there are other people in line for Section 8.
Yeah.
So that would
I
be
don't
pretty
have the pictures
miserable.
with me. I don't.
So
have
in any event, he leaves, and what's the problem with the security deposit? Because he says that you keep it and that you don't have a right to keep it.
He left the apartment a mess. I had to have the floors resanded and redone. He had a cat that he let use the bathroom and the kitchen sink. It was just
Do you have
filthy.
pictures?
Yeah, they're on my phone actually.
Who'd you live there with?
Me and my cat. If she hired.
What is this, a picture of? A cabinet door?
Yes.
What happened to the cabinet door?
Well, they had so much grease and stuff built up on it that I couldn't clean it. The guy that resurfaced the floor, sanded the floors and redid the floors, had to also sand the kitchen cabinets down so that I could rent it out.
But that's not. I'm not looking at grease. How did this happen to the kitchen, to the cabinet door? Do you have
Oh no, that's the closet door. There's a hole in the closet door, and that was partially fixed. It was bigger than that.
Okay.
It was bigger than that.
What happened to the closet door?
I'm not entirely sure.
Well, it happened in your apartment. Who else am I going to ask?
Like I said, I take a lot of medicine, so a lot of my memory is a little shaky.
Do you ever hit the wall or hit things when you take the medicine?
Sometimes
because that's not necessarily.
All my medicine make me drowsy, so sometimes I'm disorientated, and I might have tripped and hit the door, but it was a little hole, and Section 8 had her fix it. She did a crappy job, but that was on Section 8 telling her to take care of that. That has nothing to do with
What is this a picture of?
That's the floor in his room. That's what the carpet looked like before.
Tell me what happened to that rug.
That's the stains on the rug from like I'll spill like a juice or something like that.
Okay, you killed the rug. I mean, you know. Okay. What's that from? All the scratch marks? I assume are the cat.
Yeah.
The cat has all the claws.
Yeah, she scratched up the door frame.
The front claws. Yeah. Okay. Did you not find the lease?
No, I don't. I have a picture.
Is it going to be in your camera?
It could be, yes.
Take a look and find out, because I would love to see that. You got something you want to say before she finds that?
So is a Section 8 tenant allowed to sublease the unit that they're in?
No.
Why?
Because the government pays for it.
And therefore what?
The tenant can't rent out the apartment.
Because?
They can't keep the money because the government pays.
So it's like a windfall to the tenant.
Yes.
Got it. I kind of dragged that out of you, didn't I?
You did.
Okay, but you got it right. There you go.
Right.
Okay, going inside the courtroom.
Were you accepting money for her staying there?
No, I don't want to go through a whole thing with it.
This
but
is
I was
what
trying
she
to help
said.
No,
out.
I do want to go through a whole thing with it.
This is what she sent me from her cell phone saying this is how she paid Wasim Bey. His name is on it. She has for rent for August, rent for July. And then he was threatening her because she wasn't going to pay him for March. And I have cell phones that she sent me. Well, he said, my brother's a cop and you better pay me. I'm going to kick you out and all this other stuff.
Is your brother a cop?
Yeah, he is.
How would the tenant, quote unquote, know that if you hadn't said that?
Oh, no, it's because she was running up my light bill by keeping it on all the time. She was activating
Yeah,
other
she has
things,
automatic deductions
she
from
didn't
her
even-
every single month. She has an automatic deduction for $350, which she calls in her records rent.
She was staying with me because her boyfriend kicked her out. I was trying to help her out. And then she said, I'll give you some
How
money
many
to help
years
out
did she
with.
stay with you temporarily? Because she actually had enough time to set up her automatic deposits on her bank and call them rent.
It's because she wouldn't leave. We had to threaten
So
her,
you just
try to
had to
take her to
accept
court.
rent because she wouldn't leave?
Yeah, I can't find the cop.
You need more than this? This is precious.
No, okay.
Yeah, this will do it. And this is important to me because you're under oath as much when I ask you that question as you are with other things you're testifying to. So your credibility is at stake here. Aside from the fact that you're violating the law by doing this, you also lied to me about whether you were doing it.
No, Your Honor. Like I said, I'm being a lot of pain. But I texted her later and I said,
You know what?
where we could
You're
meet
not
up.
getting any of your security deposit returned. You're not. And you're not getting additional money because that's going to account for the stuff that I think is wear and tear. That's how it's going. Okay? That's my verdict. Good luck, folks.
Well, he came in saying he wanted to strike a blow for all tenants everywhere, and what do you think you did?
I think I did a good job. There's a lot of things that are circumstantial, and I don't think it was looked at the right way.
This was not a good matchup, you and this landlord, was it?
It never is. She keep taking me to court and claiming a whole lot of stuff. But the other judge saw through her bull and was like, "Look, how much time you need?" And I said, "November, October," and she said, "Okay, October."
All right.
You know,
your living arrangement better now?
Well, I'm staying with my fiance, so yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Head right down this way. All right. So step on in here, landlords and tenants. We see these fights all the time here in the courtroom. What's it like for you?
I'm just thank God it's over. He's the only problem tenant I've ever had. So I've had other tenants, and he's just one of the worst ones.
Mm-hmm. Well, he would say the same thing about you.
It's okay. It's fine.
All right, Harvey.
Okay, now, Kurt, not only is this lady right, but if you look at these deals that you sign with Section 8 tenants, if you unlawfully make money off of this, it could be a crime.